path.
Alright viewers, this is your man the King and the program The Path. Your path to liberation, your path to ascension, and your path to higher self. Yes, today we are at the festival called Efa Festival. But first of all, I would like to introduce our guest for today. Daddy.
Yes, sir.
Greetings to you.
Greetings, my brother.
How are you doing, Daddy?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm also fine as well too.
Okay.
We've been seeing all the work you've been doing around, and we really appreciate it for holding African roots down.
Thank you.
Please, we will still ask you to introduce yourself once again for your humble viewers to get to know you.
All right. To the viewers and everybody alike, my name happens to be Jinajom Kofitse Ahaji, a priest of Africania Mission. You know, Africania Mission was founded by the late Osofo Komfo Kwabena Damwa.
Exactly.
A Catholic priest.
Exactly.
Who abandoned Catholicism to initiate the world into conscious realization of what Africans have been worthy of recognition.
Exactly.
So that's how I also got involved in trying to know myself. And in trying to know myself, I believe that we must belong to a group. And that group, as Africania Mission, traditional religion is the key.
The key, yeah.
We cannot abandon what is ours and go and follow some other people's and think that we want to go to heaven.
Exactly.
Because there is no heaven anywhere.
There's no heaven anywhere. So here now is heaven.
Here is heaven. Where you have your peace of mind is your heaven.
Exactly.
Not what somebody comes from his country to tell you that he is going to heaven, so you must come along.
Exactly. First of all, Uncle Furthermore, how he was a priest for the Roman Catholic Church.
Yes.
What led to him switching from the Roman priest to become a confor of the Africania Mission Chapel?
Okay. You recognize that there has been this war between Russia,
yes,
and Ukraine,
exactly.
and the West.
Yes.
Now, Okonfo Kwabena Damwa, as a Catholic priest of 25 years standing, having lectured in the US and all this, and have read the documentation on what constitutes Christianity and Catholicism. Now, there was this conference in Russia, and at that conference, delegates were to introduce themselves. And he introduced himself as a Roman Catholic.
Okay.
And the convener of the conference said, how can you be a Roman Catholic? Are you from Rome? He said, no. Then how are you a Roman Catholic? He said, no. You cannot be a Roman Catholic. So a break was given. Then he went on the break and realized that there is the Anglican Church, which is English. Roman Catholicism is for Romans. So hasn't the African got a God? So when he came back from the break, they asked him, he said, I am from the light, Africania Mission. Africanian, from the light.
Okay,
So,
African,
yes,
Kanim,
African,
which means
from the
from the
light.
lights. Okay,
And Africa is the light of the world.
exactly.
And we have abandoned ourselves, and colonialism made us believe in what others are doing,
Exactly.
not what we are doing.
Exactly.
So if we want to abandon colonialism and having abandoned new colonialism, imperialism, and all these associated evils, and to the extent that we are communicating in somebody else's language,
Which is
not
the
in
best.
our own language.
Yeah, our rich aware language.
Yes, we have been made to abandon our rich, every cultural heritage. Having abandoned that one, that was not the end. Because at the time that the Greeks invaded the Sedna Valley, which we call the Nile Valley, the Greeks changed virtually all the names. And when you go out of this gate, there is something there on your left.
Yeah,
When you go out, there is something there on your left.
exactly.
When our ancestors were in the Southern Valley, they did the same thing. The Greeks came and called the Sphinx.
The Sphinx of Giza.
Yes, the Sphinx of Giza. What does the Sphinx ask you when you are passing by it? The Sphinx has a question to ask you.
Yeah.
You know the question?
You see, there is what works in the night, and Daddy, please come with that. I've really
The
forgot.
Sphinx will ask you, what is it which starts with 4, graduates to 2, and finalizes its journey on 3? If you are able to answer that one, the way is clear for you to go. If you can't answer, then go back.
Exactly.
So people are having difficulty in understanding. And it is a very, it's simple, but very difficult
Very
to
difficult,
answer.
exactly.
You ask those professors in the universities these same simple questions asked by the Sphinx, and they can't answer. Why?
Because they don't know their culture.
They have abandoned everything and they think highly of some interesting phenomena. Well, the simple answer is that he's the human being.
A genius.
He starts with on 4, graduates to 2. So 4, you are a child crawling. Then at the age of 2, you are an adult.
Exactly.
Then at the age where you become having 3 legs, and that is when you are holding the walking stick. So from that day, from that moment of 3, then you graduate to the moment of lying in a casket. You are being sent away.
Exactly.
So,
That's proper.
yes, so when these questions were being asked, people were not answering correctly, because when you finish the 3rd one correctly, then you are going to see those who are in the pyramid.
Exactly.
Because they are telling us the pyramid is burial ground for the pharaoh. Before you can see the face of the pharaoh, you must have passed through the Sphinx. And when you come to our society, it is only the English-speaking people who have replicas of the Sphinx.
Okay. This is Alegba.
Yes, the durɓar.
Okay.
Now, what did the French do? The French went and broke off the noses of all the Sphinx. You see that there are so many Sphinxes in Egypt. Why? Because every community you go, there must be the guardian at the entrance. So when you are entering into this house, you have the Alegba there. When you are entering into this town, you have the durɓar. And the durɓar will tell you the direction of those who came and founded the place.
Exactly.
The settlement is determined by the durɓar. When any enemy is coming and it passes by the durɓar will take all the energies that enemy is holding and keep it there. So if you go and do the correct thing and you are on a mission of success, then you are allowed to come.
Okay.
So that is the story of our ancestors.
Our ancestors.
And when they left their place, they came and settled here. And the name we call that settlement at that time, the Greeks came and said, no, we will not allow these people to use their own name. So instead of Canaan, the sandy land, they changed it to Egypt. Egypt is the name of a Greek man, giving us their land. But when Herodotus went there, Herodotus realized that these are people, apart from circumcising their male children, these are people who believe in the truth of their being. So they circumcise their male children. Ancient Egyptians or Phoenicians and Ethiopians were the only people in those ancient times who circumcised their children. But today, what do we see? We have abandoned everything. We had our tonal language, which the French copied with the accent grave and accent aigu and what have you. Because of our tonal language,
the original.
The French has decided to put the accents on their words. And what did they finalize with? They separated our society here into French Togoland and English Togoland. English Togoland has become what the people are agitating as Western Togoland.
All right, viewers, so for those who don't know what tonal language simply means, tonal language is something that, a language that other languages come out from, or you can descend or take other words out of, isn't it?
Yeah.
So tonal language is like the basic, the foundation of most of the languages in this world. So if you care to know, the airways are about 40 million people, spanning from Ghana, Togo, Benin, and Nigeria. And if you go to Cameroon, yes, Cameroon as well too, and then Burkina Faso.
They are part of Burkina Faso. That junction spot between Burkina Faso, Togo and Ghana. And that's where you have them.
That's where you have the Ewa community. However, you know, they speak the same language, just that they have different names for it. They will say Mina and foreign language and other stuff. However, they are all the same people. Linking to the Ubantu.
Ubantu, when we get to southern Sudan, the Anyanyas, and you have the Anya, they are there. You have a name like Jordan. The river Jordan. You have the Gulf of Akaba. You look at the maneuverings of the river, which is called the Nile, but you see that it resembles a snake. And you look at the Pharaoh's crown, you have the head of the snake. And where that river enters into the sea, you will see that the delta opens up as the head of a python, which will spit, and there are 7 tributaries on the delta. Right will take you through the Gulf of Akaba to the Jordan River. And we have all the attributes which define our origin. We have the Sedan, the divine snake. We have the Buddha, respect the snake. So what are we doing? Why have we abandoned? Yes, the Lord Gautama Buddha. Egu is part of the metallic object. If you are working in the metallic field, please respect the snake. So we have Gautama Buddha. And he says
Gautama Buddha.
You go to the Buddhist shrines in India, China, and they respect the snake. You will have the snake all over the place. And we were told that some god sitting somewhere decreed that the snake was the one who deceived Eve. to eat the forbidden fruit. Then you ask yourself, which human being speaks to a snake? The snake answers. It is not correct.
It is true.
Nobody can just record the voice of a snake to a human being.
Exactly.
But here we were told. And we were told that we will go to heaven if we believe that falsehood. That a human being was sitting somewhere in some garden. And now they are all coming to realize that even that Garden of Eden is in our land.
It's Africa.
Yes, it's in Africa.
Yeah.
And you don't want to believe yourself. You want to believe what someone else is telling you.
Okay.
And if you continue believing the falsehood, you will continue being
A slave.
So we have so many of our people going by certain negative names they don't understand. Some are called Henry, some are called Peter, some are called Paul. But your own name, where has your name
gone to? Your name is
majority of our people don't even know their name.
Exactly.
Or they don't respect their names. So some lady was in, some gospel musician was being interviewed the other time, and she said her name was Akapo, but that name is not sweet. So she changes the name to be Celestine something.
Oh, don't call.
That makes her a gospel musician.
Exactly. I think she had a lot of chastisement on that. She came to explain herself recently. However, Daddy, I want to ask one question.
Okay.
What is the relationship between Efa and our divination system compared to the Sphinx? Because I was doing some research and I was like, okay, maybe when we were moving from ancient Kemet down here, we realized we could not actually carry the leg-back gantor, which is the Sphinx.
Yeah.
So we came here, we molded our leg-back and decreed it with our blood that it should be our the satellite for the main leg-back. We transcend beyond time.
Okay.
So what do you have to say about that?
Now you have to go back into history and listen to what Herodotus wrote when he entered into the Southern Valley. One thing he used in identifying the people, apart from possessing the powers of the nation, circumcision, he said that there are people there, apart from the tonal language, they possess the powers to interpret the will of God. And that is divination. That power to interpret the will also defines the route you must take if you want to go somewhere. If you don't use the science of divination, which we call Atom, you will never get there.
You never get there.
You go to Ile-Ife here. Oduduwa.
Oduduwa, yes.
You heard of Oduduwa?
Yes.
Oduduwa decreed when they wanted to kill Oduduwa. Then Oduduwa decreed the chain to come from heaven, the chain on which he travels. The chain came from heaven. After conspiring with his wife to kill him and they couldn't succeed, the chain which he moves on to heaven was there. They cut the chain and thought they have got him. So you go to Ife, the shrine of Oduduwa today, you will see that chain, the half chain hanging up.
Into the sky like that, that is
it starts from the sky. The other part is gone, but the one from the sky, he's holding it in his hand. You see the statue and then you see the trees. If you get close, you want to see what it is tied to, you won't find it. So when I got down there, I wanted to take a picture of Oduduwa so that I can have something. Having asked the priest, he said, oh, you can take pictures. Then all these white people who were in the delegation to the conference on religion, they also started taking pictures. And Oduduwa statue is still there with the chain hanging. You will never see the chain bending, and it's not a simple chain.
Yeah.
It's heavy.
Heavy chain.
Those
Like the one they use in the ship.
Yes, and it's still standing there, except for the hand of Oduduwa holding the lower part of the chain. There is nothing holding it. It's standing straight like that.
Wow.
But they said we people are devils. So even that chain, the whites were photographing it, and they've taken those pictures away. And here we are, just across the border to Nigeria here. We don't even know about the existence of this chain. We don't know about ourselves, let alone knowing about something which is outside this place. When the Voodoo festival is going on in Benin, we hardly
hear about
or acknowledge it.
Exactly.
But now they have advertised that on the 10th of January, there will be the Voodoo festival again.
Oh, right.
So we will go there.
We'll definitely go there.
Since the masters, the spirits have come back from the heavenly kingdom. Heaven not as a place, a physical place where God said Jesus went to. No. Heaven is where you make yourself feel happy. Recognize that
your state in which you find yourself in.
It determines your happiness.
Your happiness.
And it determines that you are in heaven. Not that mystical place somewhere where somebody died and he allegedly resurrected and went and took lunch or whatever with his disciples and then flew bodily into heaven. But then when they tell you that by the year 2000, that mystical figure will come from heaven. And we are in 2024.
So now,
if he makes the mistake of coming, which he cannot make, he will suffer more.
Exactly.
So this is where we are.
Exactly. You made mention of names.
Yes.
And I studied that airways when they are giving names, it either follows a sequence. Yes. First of all, we have Mau Sobolisa, Mau Keta, and all those stuff. Mau Adawoto.
That is the Trinity.
The Trinity. So that means the Trinity concept came from that answer.
But that's where everything came from.
Go
and do your research and find out and tell me where you have the Tower of Babel. Where is it? The Catholics themselves are admitting that there is no Tower of Babel. So if there was no Tower of Babel, what are we believing?
Exactly.
We have all the knowledge system which is required. The pyramids were built before Pythagoras' theorem.
Exactly. Wait.
So where did Pythagoras get the theorem from?
And there was they said Alexander, when he came to
Alexander
the Great.
The Greek,
okay, not the Great. Alexander the Greek. Yes. When he came to Africa, they burnt all our library. But then research is not.
They didn't burn it.
They didn't burn it.
No.
So they took it away.
All the writings of Socrates and co. Where did they get them from? Pythagoras. All of them, the Greeks who came. Alexander brought them specifically and they lifted. Having lifted all our stuff, then they came and created the so-called Great Library of Alexandria. You don't build library in the center of the water. But then they told us that it was built there. And to cover up, they drove our people away. And that constituted what we call
Kofitse.
The exodus, the migration of our people. And today they said there was an exodus and the people marched through the belly of...
Cross the Red Sea.
What cross which Red Sea? When you go to Akati area here, what do you have? You have a water body there. What's the name?
I would like to know.
Oh, you know it. If you traveled on that road in Kano,
Yeah.
there is the name, the Toji.
Kedzi, yes.
The path.